Hello everyone, this is Jason from Force Hammer Gaming, and we are continuing with our playthrough of The Council. So we are now starting episode 2. Yep, okay, let's do this.
How many times must I tell you? You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother as quickly as possible.
Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Johann Christoph von Wollner, Minister of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal Judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet. Monsieur de
This
Richet,
does not look good.
I am arresting you for the murder of Elizabeth Adams.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, I can open that manuscript and open this manuscript. Let's see, character, do I have any points to spend? It doesn't look like it. Okay, let's do this. Lord Mortimer's office. Are we finally gonna meet the guy? Episode 2, Hide and Seek.
Is there nothing you want to say, Louis?
It wasn't me. I didn't kill her.
I'd much rather have met you under different circumstances.
Lord Mortimer, believe me, I'm very conscious of the gravity of the situation.
So that guy is Lord Mortimer.
Everything seems to point to me as the one who killed Elizabeth, but I swear I am innocent.
Out of respect for your mother, rest assured that I do want to believe you.
And all I want is to be able to prove it to you. When do we start?
We already have. Tell me, Louis, how do you feel?
Let's see. Level 1. Okay.
I feel like a rat trapped in a maze.
Interesting.
I beg your pardon?
Sarah also felt like she was trapped like an animal.
Where are you going with this, my lord?
Sarah's behavior grew odd before her disappearance. Her attitude changed. She became prey to outbursts of violence and a number of temporary absences. I'm just trying to make sure that you don't go getting lost like your mother did.
You're not suggesting that I might have killed Elizabeth and that I don't remember, are you?
Yeah, that's
don't know,
possible.
Louis. It's just that what with your mother and now you, it's rather a lot.
It is a lot.
The more I take stock of the situation, the more I'm under the impression that you've been set up.
I have been set up.
Before going any further, I must inform you that Sir Gregory is about to arrive. He is coming to question you about the murder of poor Elizabeth, whom he was very fond of. He is quite determined to find the culprit, whomever they may be. So, convince him of your innocence. Then we can continue this conversation.
Okay.
William, I would like to see you a moment before we begin. In private.
Let's step outside a moment. Louis, this will only take a few moments.
Search the study. Wait. Hell yeah, I'm searching the study.
Let's take this chance to look around.
Okay. Let's look at this letter here. Doris, statement. So enclosed are the witness statements of guests Bonaparte and Hillsborough. Statement of Napoleon Bonaparte when asked, "What are you doing yesterday evening?" Which you're right after talking about I spent. See if I can saw someone. Oh. Too late.
Please, sit back down, Louis.
Needed more time.
This sort of behavior is not working in your favor, young man. Monsieur de Richet, you were found standing over Miss Adams' body. We must shed some light on your responsibility in this tragedy. We shall then decide on your fate. But you must know that if you do not convince us of your innocence, it will cost you dearly.
I'm assuming death?
Now you're going to tell us everything that happened last night without leaving any detail out. First things first, how did your evening begin?
Okay. I was with Emily when Elizabeth turned up. Yep.
Duchess Hillsborough and I were returning to our rooms when Elizabeth came upon us.
Oh, so you were with the Duchess?
Yes, we were talking. We were walking up the stairs, and it was late.
Where did you come from?
I don't remember.
Tell him the truth.
We came from the portrait gallery, if I remember rightly.
That is what the Duchess said. Continue.
We were heading for our rooms when Elizabeth burst into the corridor, barely dressed. She was panic-stricken and insisted on speaking to me. So I found myself in Elizabeth's room. We sat down together. She insisted we have a drink, or she would refuse to confide in me.
What exactly did she want to speak about at such a late hour?
Okay. About her childhood with my mother. She claims she saw my mother that evening before. You know, let's go with this one. About her childhood.
She was distressed. She just found out that I was Sarah de Richet's son and sort of insisted on telling me about the horrors my mother made her suffer. She was convinced she was going to die.
It turns out she wasn't wrong.
No, she was not.
What happened next?
Then she told me she had poured laudanum in my glass. The next minute I was on the floor. When I woke up, she was lying in a pool of blood.
That is all you have to say? You expect us to believe that you have no idea what happened to her?
Yes, because I'm telling you the truth.
How can you possibly expect us to believe you?
Gregory, we must consider every possibility.
Okay.
Louis, do you have any idea who could have done it?
You! But I'm just gonna put I don't
Look,
know.
frankly, it's beyond me. I just don't know.
Monsieur de Richet, don't you think it would be in your interest to help us find another suspect?
Okay. Jacques Perot, Washington, my mother. Which one do I choose? Which one do I choose? Washington, Jacques Perot. You know what? Let's see what happens if I said it could have been
Judging by
me.
the situation, I'm at the top of your list of suspects.
William gave you every opportunity to shift suspicion onto someone else. You have a very strange method of defending yourself, young man.
So, Louis, what would your motive be?
Well, given the abuse my mother inflicted on the young woman, I might have wanted to protect her reputation, and tried to hush it up by getting rid of the only witness.
That makes sense.
But thinking about it, it also makes your mother the ideal suspect. And since us suspecting you is not the best form of defense, do you want to try again?
Let's finish this, William. I don't quite know how we can give the benefit of the doubt to an individual who can manipulate the truth to absurdity.
Louis, unfortunately, you haven't managed to convince us. You will agree that you had the time and the motive to commit the murder. I am devastated, but I must agree with Gregory and declare you guilty.
No!
Gentlemen, if you please, wait. There is something else. Elizabeth ended up telling me why my mother had tried to treat her.
The voices in her head, is that it?
She spoke to you about them too, didn't she? Gentlemen, I'm not a doctor, but she was persuaded she heard voices in her head. You don't think she might have killed herself,
By
do you?
stabbing herself 9 times. I find that extremely unlikely, don't you?
What? Stabbed 9 times?
It appears that the murderer walked up and stabbed her several times from behind. We counted 9 gashes in all. All of them were relatively shallow, and they were all given from roughly the same angle of attack. Traces of blood appear to prove that she was standing throughout the attack.
Shallow slashes.
I might not have the strength of Hercules, but if I had stabbed a woman, I'd probably have made deeper cuts.
Sounds plausible. I have to admit, you put forward a powerful argument, Monsieur de Richet.
I think that will be all, Gregory. The benefit of the doubt suffices.
Put the gun away. That's good.
I would like to thank you for helping us shed light on what happened last night. To be honest, you are not the only suspect. I'm prepared to believe you were drugged. Our poor Elizabeth hid the stuff everywhere, and I could smell laudanum on you 3 yards away.
So you knew it wasn't me from the start?
We weren't sure. Louis, I am sorry, but everything points in the same direction. I only know one person on this island who might have had a big enough grudge against Elizabeth, who has no alibi, and whose behavior is, well, suspect. Not to mention dangerous.
Tell me what happened before my arrival. I think I've been patient enough.
Yes, yes I have.
You don't need us for any of this. So come along, Monsieur Peru. We are leaving.
Right.
I say she's in hiding.
She seems to be making every effort to steer clear of your guests.
What do you mean?
For the past few weeks, my mother's been playing cat and mouse, if you will. I don't know why, but it wouldn't surprise me to learn that she's trying to avoid someone. The question is, who?
And in your opinion, would she be the cat or the mouse?
I'd say the mouse.
I'd like to answer the cat, but unfortunately I'm increasingly worried that she's in fact the mouse.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities and yours in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous.
Yes, he is.
He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
And
Yet
he did.
Told me that you had spoken and that you hadn't been able to reach an understanding.
That's putting it mildly. Monsieur Bonaparte is one of those guys who only understands people who think like he does.
Ah, I see what you mean. He is indeed rather inflexible when it comes to certain subjects. But I am still of the opinion that you can manage to get along.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference.
Ooh, a project.
It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play. And I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much.
Oh, we shall see.
You'll be able to keep your mother informed of what is said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
You know what? Let's admit this.
She was looking for someone.
What do you mean?
In Paris, we were working on a smuggling case to do with occult objects. We had just arrested a dealer who intended to go to you to meet a buyer. My mother was here to find out to whom he intended to sell his stolen treasure.
Oh. What was the name of your dealer?
Damn, I can't remember the exact spelling. Is it Borchet or Brochet? I think it's Brochet.
If I'm not mistaken, the dealer was called Von Brochet.
Name means nothing to me. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Maybe she's wary of someone. She might have discovered something. Maybe she lost her mind. I'll go with wary of someone.
Her not coming back to the manor after so long makes me wonder if she is wary of someone.
Well, certainly. But whom? The only ones who were present during her stay were Sir Gregory, Duchess Hillsborough, Mr. von Wollner, and myself.
Gregory home?
Seems you're close friends. What can you tell me about Sir Gregory?
Gregory? Oh, he's one of those cantankerous old men who hates losing at chess. He's a little eccentric and rather conservative. I'm sure you've met the type.
Well, actually, I don't judge people on how they look.
And you do well not to. What with his manner of continuing to wear makeup as he does, Gregory often gives off an unhealthy image. The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
Okay, what did you speak about together? Enough about her. Yep. What did you speak about?
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
Good old metric system. All right. What's this? Whitney's cotton gin. Okay, let's try this.
Yes, his famous cotton gin. It was supposed to revolutionize cotton production in the United States.
It will revolutionize the world, Louis. The potential of this invention is much greater. Tomorrow, all industries will be switching to simple but large-scale production. Of that, I'm sure.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Okay. By nothing of the Crusades, the famous papal bull of Pope Gregory
Mother
VIII.
lulled my childhood with tales of the Crusades. How Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus had to battle it out to achieve their ends. And how Guy de Lusignan, having broken his word, launched the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Oh,
I see Sarah's lessons have inspired new enthusiasts. Good on you, because not everyone can claim they know as much at your age. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
Worse
What do you
things.
mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol.
Oh, so my vision was
before
right.
Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. I wonder who this last guest is.
The room is just opposite Mortimer's study.
Go to the tower room. Arts room. Okay, I guess go to the tower room. I guess it's upstairs. Nope. I wonder if there's anything else I can do. Nope, not going there. Wonder. Nope.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Is there anything in this box here? Nope.
President George Washington.
Probably he should have paid more attention as to who it was across from. I guess I'll have to just look at every door.
Monsieur Johann van Volner.
Ah, this must be it. Okay, let's do some investigating. Take that.
Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better. There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be?
The man with the sword.
Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Consult. Notes. We must find. Man with the sword.
Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
Okay, anything here? Nope. Oh, what's this?
Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve.
Sorry everyone, slight hiccup with the recording. I think I saw a clue on this painting, but I don't know if it was recorded or not.
Saint
That's
Paul
okay.
Road to Damascus by Caravaggio.
I don't think the clue is too much, will affect the game too much.
A magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
Cool painting. Okay, let's see what else is there. Oh, to another room, huh? Locked.
The door appears to be locked on the other side.
Open. Oh.
I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like a key falling to the floor.
Okay. See if I can, Nope, I can't get out of there. Key falling on the floor.
There are burnt papers in the chimney.
Saw this already. Maybe I can slide the paper.
Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Okay. Oh wait, do I notice something here? No, I think I already said that. I think I already saw that.
Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
Okay, how do you open it? Okay, we'll use
I need
that.
something to help me get the key that fell on the floor. The door was closed from the inside. Would Mother have provided something within reach to recover it?
Okay. What can I use to get the door open? Oh,
What is this disc?
take the disc. This menu. A round magnet. Ugh. Cool. Use the disc.
So much for discretion.
Whoops. Ah. Actually,
It's
didn't
open.
want to do that. I accidentally clicked that instead of clicking the magnet. Take that.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription
Interesting.
engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. I don't know, what does that mean?
Sum up the information from the painting.
So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Okay, leave. I'm gonna use some royal jelly. There we go.
A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Move away. Observe
A
painting.
drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
Okay, leave.
The New Testament.
Go back to beginning. Apostles of Paul. Yeah, I don't know. Let's go analyze the book first.
This book is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord.
Okay.
This volume dates from the first edition of Gutenberg. It's the first book that was ever printed.
Oh, must be valuable.
Pages are covered in annotations in Latin, French, and Hebrew. Someone spent years studying this Bible.
Okay.
A volume of the Gutenberg Bible.
Leave. I'll leave it for now. Oh. Something else to add to the inventory?
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Okay, what else? Take that.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the apostles by Guido Reni.
Leave. Okay. Oh. Something here.
A fragment of amber.
Nice. Okay, so I think I have to do something with that Bible. Let me just look at this painting
St.
again.
Paul painted by Guido Reni. So, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure.
I think they
11.
misspelled connection.
What's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Okay. Okay, so I think... Let's see, Mark. At beginning, let's... Paul's...
Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for all have sinned.
Okay. Read. So... said 11 was underlined twice. So I wonder if... Oh, you know what? Maybe it's 3 verse 8, because that's... So, Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, so it's like 1:1, and then 3:8, that's 11
How
also.
shall not the ministration of the Spirit not be more glorious?
Okay, maybe not. Shoot. Is there anything outside here? Did I look at this painting? I don't think I have.
St. John is known as the youngest of Christ's apostles. Well, we often give credit to St. John for having written about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible.
Okay.
It's St. John, painted by Guido Rini.
Okay, that didn't help. I'm gonna get more royal jelly. Okay. Looked at everything. I think I looked at this one.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the apostles by Guido Rini.
Okay, so trust my faith with the man and the sword. Again.
St. Paul painted by Guido Rini.
Inspect the painting.
St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome.
Oh, maybe
Just
Rome?
above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. I don't know, what does that mean? Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle.
Okay. So maybe something with Romans? Okay. Romans chapter 11, verse 11.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. Wait, a note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say? Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the 2 groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative. Awaiting your reply.
E probably
behind
means
the youngest apostle. What?
Emma? Or sorry, I
The
forget what her
youngest
name
apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
is. Scrutinize the frame.
The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. What was it my mother said? That she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle. Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the 2nd day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
Think about the code. Think about the figures.
They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies? St. John is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle. Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother. Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer.
Okay. Could there be more here?
guess I'll just come back later.
Hold on.
It's St. John, painted by Guido Rini.
Okay, let's see. St. John. Sorry, what was the clue?
Now, there is a Jerusalem by the sheep market, a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda, having 5 porches. They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies?
Wait,
I guess I'll just come back later.
hold on.
That's right, St. John is often credited with writing about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible. He's also known as the youngest of Christ's apostles.
Okay. The Revelations, Revelation to John.
And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. That's right, St. John is often credited with writing about the apocalypse in the last book of the Bible. He's also known as the youngest of Christ's apostles.
Okay.
On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
1 companion to the left, 3 to the right.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Rini. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
I just want to make sure, was there anything here that I missed? No, I don't think so. One rank to the... Revelation to John.
Saying with a loud voice, "Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing."
I'm just gonna
I heard
go
a voice in the midst of the
click
4
on all of
beasts
them.
say, "A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine."
Okay. John.
And ye know that he
Wish you
was
could just skip
manifested
it,
to take away our
when
sin,
he's talking.
and in him is no sin.
Look at the frame.
There's nothing worth noticing here.
Inspect the surroundings. Let's go into the chest of
The
the
characters
drawers.
are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
Nope, I don't know what that means. Surroundings. Inspect the
There are
dusty
finger
piece of
marks.
furniture.
Deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all.
Candlestick.
Nothing of value here.
Behind the
It's too
painting.
cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
Ugh, doesn't look like anything here. Maybe something here. Look at the frame.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Okay. Think about the town quoted.
It must be the group of pilgrims mentioned from before. I guess maybe the city of Corinth is a reference to the epistle from Corinthians in the Bible.
Okay. Epistles. Yeah, Paul. Corinthians. Oh. No, 2 Corinthians. Just gonna look for that if there's a 1-3 combination somewhere. Just 2. Okay. Nope. Whoops. One. No. Okay. Up here. John. It's probably something with the on Corinthians.
How shall not the ministration of the Spirit not be more glorious?
Whoops. Sorry for those watching me just fumble through all of this.
For you are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean? A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel.
I just have a feeling there's something behind this painting. But
on the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean?
see, I'm looking to see if there's like a verse 1-3 or something like that.
the Jews require a sign, and the Greeks seek after wisdom.
Just going to read it through all
If
of
we have
these.
hope in Christ in this life only, we are, of all men, most miserable.
Whoops.
Now, therefore, there is utterly a fault among you, because ye go to law with one another. Why do ye not rather suffer injustice? Why do ye not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Ah, look.
Oh.
Here's a message. It is of paramount importance that no one finds it. Watch out for the Prussian. He's on the trail. Let's meet up. I'll leave it to you to organize the rendezvous. Not today. I'm unable to do it. In the meantime, I'll follow the first group to Mark, who will reveal the answer to them. And that first group of pilgrims, how many are there now? If I refer to the chapter I'm reading at the moment, 6.
Chapter 6, verse 7.
For you are bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's.
Okay. Whoops.
Because
Something
we
here?
look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
Okay.
How shall not the ministration of the Spirit not be more glorious? Now I pray to God that ye do no evil, not that we should appear approved, but that ye should do that which is honest. For we are as reprobates.
Wish there was an easier way of doing this.
Because we look not at the things that are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal.
They wrote transient instead of temporal. And the
For we are unto
subtitles.
God a sweet savor of Christ, in them that are saved, and in them that perish.
Okay, so the first group to Mark. Let's see, Mark.
And it came to pass in those days that Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and was baptized by John in Jordan. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread, and blessed it, and broke it, and gave it to them, and said, Take, eat, this is my body.
Okay.
And behold, there cometh one of the rulers of the synagogue, Jairus by name. And when he saw him, he fell at his feet.
Okay, not that one. Mark.
Then came together unto him the Pharisees, and certain of the scribes, which came from Jerusalem.
Okay. Go back to beginning. Nothing here. Mark. Let's see this. I'll follow first group to Mark. Okay.
I guess I'll just come back later.
Yes.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Reni.
Okay, so look at the frame.
There's nothing worth noticing here.
He said follow to Mark behind the painting.
It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years. There are
Dusty.
finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all. No, nothing of value here. Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
Actually, you know what? Oh, I think I used too much. Hold on.
Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
Actually, no, I still don't know that. Ugh. And I think... Hold on. Yep. Remove those negative alterations. Thank you. Okay. There's nothing
Several portraits
here.
of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna, again, just go through all the passages here.
Take heed that ye practice your justice before men, to be seen differently by them. Otherwise, ye shall have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
It says here...
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven like a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there were 7 sons of one Sceva, a Jew, and chief of the priests which did so.
Nope.
And he became very hungry, and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to E. We must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that?
Yes. Allegorical or literal? Maybe it's literal?
Clearly she must be trying to do something useful, but what? The nightmare. Does that remind me of anything?
An object?
Probably has to do with an object or something. Granting that this is the case, where might it be found?
Try to remember. No. Second floor room? Ground floor room. The portrait gallery?
Thought it would have been over there, but something's telling me that it isn't. I better keep searching. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Yes. Yeah, sorry that took a while. In all honesty, I kind of just clicked through all the passages in the Bible just to find the one that I need to continue. Oh. So, let's see, success here. Cleared your name in the eyes of guests. Search Lord Mortimer's study. Discovered my mother's message. I did not understand my mother's message. Yeah, I could have found the conversation between my mother and her partner. Oh well. Okay. Skill not acquired. You know, maybe I'll take cultism, manipulation. What else is there? Questioning. Maybe I'll Up occultism. Yeah. Ugh, lots of achievements unlocked. Okay, so diversion, skill points. Let's go with diversion. Oh, and I can do logic as well. Cool.
I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
Yes. Hello, weird servant.
You are expected in the small salon, sir.
Okay. Actually, where is the small salon? I'm sure I'll find it.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis?
I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
Must have been Emma I saw in my vision.
I was given
Yes,
to understand
Emma
that
in your vision,
my
that's
mother
what I
and
thought.
your sister bonded during their stay.
Okay, don't send her... You know, let's say, ask her to go beyond the
I've got a
nightmare.
question that might seem a little bit strange.
I'm listening.
If I said go beyond the nightmare, would that ring any bells?
No, means nothing to me. Do you mean literally or figuratively speaking?
It might be a place, I don't know where, but it's a lead.
You ought to ask His Eminence. He knows the house and its estate very well, being a frequent visitor here.
Thanks for the advice.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
Tell her or keep quiet? I'm going to keep quiet for now.
I better keep that to myself for the time being.
For now.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line.
Oh, this looks heated.
Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest.
But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
And what has Mr. Peru done to once again provoke someone's anger?
We don't really know just yet.
I get the feeling it won't be long before it gets out.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined. What?
Oh, yeah.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh dear.
Oh, as if...
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Did he?
Ridiculous! Bastard! He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for one vote! Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act. Until anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Let's see. Yeah, I'll calm things down.
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But
That's enough, sir.
with whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richer.
Are you related to Sarah de Richer?
Sarah is his mother, Duke. Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Okay. All the players are here, I think.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you, too.
Of course.
Okay, confrontation
I heard
time.
about your mother's disappearance.
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Okay. You know, I'll tell him what I found so far.
We found traces of her that would indicate she's still on the island.
Her personal belongings?
Yes, but nothing of great interest. Scraps of food, some clothes.
Ah, I see. Well, too bad.
Ah.
I shan't keep you, Monsieur de Richer.
All right.
No, failure!
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon. I must go now. I'll see you later.
Very suspicious. But dang, I wish I didn't get the failure in that confrontation. Anyways, let's look around to see if there's some stuff I can take here. Oh, wait, what's this? Collect your coin, okay.
There's a pattern with 5 circles on this chest.
Do not have the key. Let's see what else is here.
Chronicles of the Amber Princes. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
Okay. Like here. Nope. Thing in the fire. Oh, see something shiny. More coins. Okay. Oh, maybe I can talk to Napoleon.
Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
May we?
Let's see. Tell me more about the coming conference.
Would you have any more information about the conference Lord Mortimer spoke of?
Nothing at all. Mortimer is very committed to secrecy when it comes to his conferences. But given the presence of Monsieur Peru and ourselves, I think it must concern France to some extent. Otherwise, I doubt he would have invited 3 Frenchmen to his table, huh?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ask him of his opinion of Godoy.
What do you think of Duke Godoy?
Well, I'd rather not express any opinion of him.
Why is that?
His reputation is enough for me.
Okay. Okay, his reputation... What? Tell me more.
Meaning...
This gentleman enjoys people talking about him for too many reasons. His undeserved titles, more than 10 in just 4 years, and each one more prestigious than the one before.
You don't think he deserves them?
If I had seen him on the battlefield, there might be some doubt. But that is not the case. The Queen would rather not risk losing him, so she consoles him with awards and titles.
So you don't have a very positive opinion?
His coveting French Catalonia does not encourage me to have one.
I understand your point of view.
Okay. Ask him about the
Does
nightmare.
expression "go beyond the nightmare" mean anything to you at all?
Well, surely have one, given the number of books he has. You ought to check in the library of the tower. You never know.
Yes. Okay.
Well, I'll be leaving you now. Shall we meet up again later?
Wait, monsieur. Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave.
Yes, I'm sure you
Let
would.
me know if you find her. À plus tard, monsieur.
Okay. Wonder if I have time to go to the library. Let me just see if there's anything else here. Does not look like it. Can go up. Yes. Actually, first floor. Yeah. Wait. Ooh, library. Actually, right there. Actually, let me talk to other people here.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service, day and night, sir.
Okay. A few questions about the manor. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I doubt it. Okay, coming conference.
Mr. President, can you tell me a coming conference?
Of course, Louis. That's why we're here. Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory regularly organize meetings like this to put forward major projects.
What do you mean by major projects?
Yes.
I'd prefer to let Lord Mortimer explain that to you, Louis. Let's say he brings together influential people in order to consider possible actions to undertake to guarantee the future of nations.
Really feels like we're the Illuminati.
Do you know the theme of the conference?
Not in the slightest. None of the guests know the theme before arriving. But you'll see. Everything will turn out fine. Don't worry.
Okay.
Go beyond the nightmare. Does this line remind you of anything in particular?
You caught me unaware here, Louis. Let me think about it a second. No, nothing comes to mind. Sorry, Louis, but I am unable to help you.
Okay.
Mr. President, what do you think about your counterpart, Duke Manuel?
I'm very surprised he was able to accept Lord Mortimer's invitation, given the political situation in Spain.
What context?
What do you mean?
The situation is ready to explode with France over Catalonia.
Well, the Duke must have a darn good reason to be absent and come here, mustn't he?
When Lord Mortimer invites you, Louis, you come. It's always in your best interest.
I wouldn't say that personally, but...
Okay.
Well, thank you for your time.
Don't mention it, my young friend. Regarding your question on the nightmare, don't hesitate to question the others about it. Maybe one of them knows more than I do.
That's a good idea. Thank you once again. I'll see you in a little bit.
You know, maybe I will ask the servants.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service, day and night, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
I would like to speak about your master, Lord Mortimer.
Do please excuse me, sir, but I shall make no comment about my master.
Of course
Is
not.
there anything else that sir would like to know?
Okay, guess.
What can you tell me about the guests?
Do excuse me, sir, but
but I am bound by discretion to say nothing about
Oh, come on!
guests, sir. Perhaps would like to know something else?
Okay. What can I find on the ground floor?
Can you briefly describe the ground floor, please?
Very well, sir. On the ground floor, there are mainly living rooms. Sir finds himself at present in the Grand Hall. Can access, on one side, the small salon, where the guests like to relax with a good book. From there, Sir can access the conference room, which is closed at present for preparations. That is where Lord Mortimer likes to gather all of his guests for talks. From the other side of the Grand Hall, Sir may access the dining room. That is where Sir's meals will be served. From the dining room, Sir may benefit from an exceptional view overlooking the island. It is also the best way to access the portrait gallery, where a large part of Lord Mortimer's works are exhibited. And in the gallery, Sir will also find access to the garden. But Sir may be reassured the building is accessible on both sides, so that it surrounds the garden in question. So, Sir should not find cause to worry. No one has ever gotten lost.
Oh, hopefully not.
Except for my mother.
Yes, except for her.
Has Sir another question?
May I walk outside?
What is outside on the island exactly?
Lord Mortimer has made a point of keeping the main part of the island in its natural state, sir. For security reasons, only the wharves and the gardens are accessible to guests. If Sir would like to walk along the wharves, he has only to follow the pathway used upon his arrival. If he would like to walk in the interior gardens of the manor, I would advise Sir to pass through the portrait gallery. May I help Sir in any other way?
Help
As
me
I
out.
was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
What do I need? Golden elixir. Ooh, amber.
My good fellow, would you have any amber available?
I would, but unfortunately I don't think I am authorized to give it out, sir. I believe it is a precious stone.
Okay. Hold on. Golden elixir, that's what I need.
You wouldn't have a little golden elixir I could use, would you?
Oh, unfortunately, sir, I have orders not to give any of that medicine to any of Lord Mortimer's guests.
You're not
guests
useful.
are here to follow a very strict. Finding certain substances would be dangerous for Sir.
Okay. It's not for consumption.
That's fine. I have no intention of swallowing this remedy. You see, I generally use it to put the shine back on my shoes. But maybe you'd rather I ask permission from Lord Mortimer. Where is he? I'd like to tell him about my shoe problem.
Sir need do nothing of the sort. There is no reason to disturb Lord Mortimer with this small matter.
As you wish.
Here you are, sir. I hope Sir will have enough with one bottle, as I haven't any more.
Oh, I'll make do. It's good of you to get this much.
May I do anything else for Sir?
Yes, Carmelite water.
A little Carmelite water would do me a lot of good. Could you find me some, please?
Oh, the tonics are under lock and key, sir. Lord Mortimer only allows access to them in cases of emergency.
Okay, I don't want to waste all that. Okay.
I still haven't quite recovered after that boat crossing. Would you happen to have any devil's thorn by any chance?
I am sorry, sir, but the devil's thorn may be just a plant, but it is also a powerful psychotropic drug that causes undesirable diuretic effects.
I know, give it to me.
I would advise against Sir taking any.
Okay. Don't want to use any of my points here, so I'll just take my leave. So let's see. Dining hall. Go to the library. Okay, anybody here? Nope. Yep, somewhere here. Anything that I can take? A lot of butterflies here.
Ulysses and Circe at the table. If I were you, Ulysses, I wouldn't drink the wine.
Cardinal.
Ah, Louis. Just the man. Good Lord. How did the king come to be executed?
With a guillotine.
I would think that the order would have intervened.
Yes, the king made things worse all by
Your
himself.
Eminence, I'm sorry for King Louis, but he did everything to put himself there.
Louis, how can you say such a thing? Even if France rejects the church, you don't go and behead a person of high status. They always serve our cause better alive than dead. Politically, it's absurd.
I invite you to speak about it with my mother as soon as she reappears.
Is there any news of her?
Well, I hope it won't be long before I find her, Your Eminence.
Now you wanted to speak to me.
Yes.
I'm sure a man like you is in the circle of trust. Would you know what the conference that Lord Mortimer mentioned is going to be about?
Not really, my son. Well, be it Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory, we are never informed about the theme of the conference before it begins.
Okay.
I was wondering what to think of that Manuel Godoy.
He is reputed to be a very ambitious character, at every level. But his faith is unwavering. He is a staunch defender of the church. You can believe me.
Okay. Okay. Okay, don't take note. Ask about the nightmare.
If I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son. Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
No, let's go a place or an object.
I mean, if it were a place or an object found on this island, what would you think of first?
The nightmare. No, I don't see anything. I'm sorry.
Well, that's too bad.
Ah, wait. I suppose it might be that horrible painting hanging in Lord Mortimer's study.
Ooh.
Pretend not to be that interested. Right. Well, don't worry about it. I was just curious.
Okay, so I think that's
Thank
it.
you for everything, Your Eminence. I shan't take up any more of your time.
You are welcome, my son. I will be seeing you, Louis.
Go to Mortimer's study. Okay. Library, portrait gallery. Oh. Nope, we still can't open that. Okay. Oh, nothing there, because I've been here before.
The Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near, his brain is oozing by either ear.
Oh, can't go there. Let's see if I can go upstairs. Ah. There we go. Okay, so study here, tower room, Adam's room, room. Okay, let's see if we can go upstairs. Is there anything here? Nope.
So, what did my mother mean by going beyond the nightmare?
Ah, nice pit. Bottomless pit. You can throw someone this is Sparta style down. Okay, oop, grab that. Anything else I can grab? Oh, what's this? Key with an occult water symbol. This?
Dante's Purgatory. Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form? Charming. Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Change fourth letter. You know what? I'll come back to that later. Yeah, just going around in circles. Okay, go beyond the nightmare. Oh yeah, could be that. I'm gonna take some stuff here.
No, what have we got here? Well, it looks like a model of a lock. It's as if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it.
Oh, maybe I will.
Let's take a closer look.
Same with the chocolates. I'll take a chocolate.
Dark chocolate beans. Very bitter. They're
looks like
greatly
there's
prized in high society.
Looks like there's a letter under that under the chocolates, but or something like a piece of paper under those chocolates, but that's okay. I can't seem to look at it. Okay, let's look at this.
The Nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond. Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think.
Who's whistling?
There must be a mechanism somewhere.
Okay, mechanism. Take a red berry.
Might come in handy.
Yes. Oh, just noticed. Hello.
A mynah bird.
Speak to the bird.
Well, Waldo, is your master good?
Yeah, Waldo. Give red berries. No. Speak to the bird. Sarah?
Sarah Deriche? Waldo, you know Sarah? What? Repeat that, Waldo. Sarah? What about Sarah?
Huh.
God, what's been happening here?
Feed the bird. Give chocolate. Hopefully that doesn't kill the bird. Oh crap!
Oh, what have I done? It looks like I've killed him. Oh shit. I better not hang around.
Oh, Louis, what have you done? What have I done?
No mechanism here.
Oh wait, I think I noticed something at the bottom there. Woohoo! Secret passage!
Aha! I found it. Oh, what on earth is this? A ring lock now? Great. That's all I needed.
Find a mechanism to painting. Find the code of the hidden door. Looks like numbers. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Huh. Okay, so I need to find the numbers. Back. 1792, maybe? Okay. Whoops. Okay. Seven. Oops. It looked like a 7. What the? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 92. Okay. Nope, that didn't work. Okay. Gotta look around more.
This painting isn't finished. And it looks like Mortimer probably did it. Not bad, but you can't exactly say it's been done in the style of the period.
Okay.
History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Sarde. Hey, the dates indicate AL, and it looks like 4,000 years have been added to our calendar. Oh, that counting system again.
Okay, analyze the dates.
Took place not long after the year 1000. Here all the dates say 5,000 and something. I'm guessing this dating system begins 4,000 years before the calendar that we use. Yet, I'm getting the feeling that there's something else, another small detail, but what is it?
Okay. Link the author to the dates.
The author is Pierre Amédée de la Sarde, none other than the Grand Master of the Masonic Lodge of Paris. Now I understand why the dates are offset. He's using dates based on the Anno Lucis, year 0 of the Masonic calendar, by adding 4,000 years to the Gregorian calendar. But I thought that calendar starts in March.
Okay, let's start with the First Crusade.
Call of Pope Urban II. 20 years after the capture of Jerusalem from the Arabs by the Turks, Urban II convened the council. He promises a plenary indulgence to Christians who go and get Jerusalem back from the Turks. The result, the Jewish community on the road to Jerusalem found itself persecuted for no reason. 12,000 Jews would perish, not to mention the massacre of Ma'ara, where acts of cannibalism by Frankish crusaders were reported, or even the capture of Jerusalem, where approximately 30,000 were left dead. It signaled the beginning of centuries of wars of religion.
Okay, Second Crusade.
Or how Louis VII, King of France, eager to be pardoned for the death of thousands of innocent people in the fire of the Church of Ypres, convinces the Pope to authorize him to lead his own crusade. The result? In Germany, a new outburst of violence against the Jewish community, and a monumental fiasco by poor Louis VII, cuckolded by his wife's uncle.
Okay, Third Crusade.
Famous call from Pope Gregory VIII in his Audita Tremendi Bull of 5,187. Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5,190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years.
Okay, so 5,190. So 1,190. Okay, Let's give that a shot. Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Pull. Lower the level.
Doesn't work, damn it.
Okay.
I really thought I was close. 1,190. Isn't the right date when you subtract 4,000? I must have missed a subtlety.
Whoops. What if I just put 5 here?
Damn it. Doesn't work. 5,190. I was pretty sure it was right. Maybe I didn't use the right dating system. No, what have we got here? Well, it looks like a model of a lock. As if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes.
History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Salle.
Hey, the dates indicate AL, and it looks like 4,000 years have been added to our calendar. Oh, that counting system again.
The famous call from Pope Gregory VIII in his Audita Tremendi.
Maybe you should use 1187?
187?
Oh, the crusade where Richard the Lionhearted distinguished himself. It states the first sea blockade of Saint-Jean d'Acre was broken in the 12th month of 5,190 AL, whereas the siege had been going on for 2 years.
I remember saying that the calendar, or their calendar, started in March or something? Okay, let's just try 1187 first. 6, 7, pull.
Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter.
You know, gonna use some jelly. Watch the rollers. Okay.
Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller.
So marker number 1, second roller.
Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to switch it back to 1190. Temporary, but the second roller, the 1. Okay.
Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller.
Marker on the 1 second roller. I can't see. Okay.
Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller.
Okay. Maybe I have to increase that by the 5.
Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter. Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter.
Just gonna try all the numbers.
Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter. 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 Doesn't work, damn it. I really thought I was close. 1,190. Isn't the right date when you subtract 4,000? I must have missed a subtlety. Well, I got it wrong.
Yes,
It
I
doesn't
definitely
matter.
missed the subtlety.
Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter. Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter.
I wonder if it's backwards. Watch the rollers.
Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller.
Marker number 1, second roller. Okay. Oh, what do we have here?
History of the First Crusades by Pierre Amédée de la Salle. Hey, the dates indicate AL, and it looks like 4,000 years have been added to our calendar. Oh, that counting system again. The author is Pierre Amédée de la Salle, none other than the Grand Master of the Masonic Lodge of Paris. Now I understand why the dates are offset. He's using dates based on the Anno Lucis, year 0 of the Masonic calendar, by adding 4,000 years to the Gregorian calendar. But I thought that calendar starts in March. The Crusades took place not long after the year 1000. Here all the dates say 5,000 and something. I'm guessing this dating system begins 4,000 years before the calendar that we use. Yet, I'm getting the feeling that there's something else, another small detail, but what is it?
Okay, so it starts in March. I'm wondering if I have to change the last date by a year or something. Let's add 1 to this. Ah! I was right!
Open sesame.
This is cool.
Let's see what you've been hiding, Lord Mortimer.
Nice. Okay. Map
It
of
shows
Africa.
the forces present in Africa. This is unexpected activity in this sector. It looks like there are also many unknowns, even for Mortimer.
Okay.
Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Tremor. He says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in. And goes on, there are hundreds of good ways to live life, but you only need one to convince the masses that it's the only one possible. The author isn't letting any ethical principles get in his way, is he? This shows the forces present in America.
Okay. This. Okay.
It shows the forces present in Europe. It's clear that France is surrounded by her enemies. However, a large number has been underlined in bold. 26 million. I know what it is. It's an estimation of my country's population. All our neighbors have far fewer inhabitants.
Okay. Let's see what else is there. Oh, what's this?
Locked.
Devil's Thorn.
A fine-looking map of the Orient, indeed.
Okay, move away. Saw something stabbed into the globe here. Let us see if you have the courage to face me alone. Okay.
It's my mother's writing. I've picked up her trail. What is she up to? Obviously, she wants to lure Mortimer somewhere, but where? The only clue she's left for Mortimer is this stone sword. It must be intentional. It looks like a decorative sword, like from a statue, for example. And judging by the state of it, I'm guessing it's been left outside for a long time. I have absolutely got to find out where it came from.
Okay. Whoops. I wonder if Mortimer will notice the sword gone.
Preservation using formaldehyde. Just as disgusting as ever. Something strange about this table.
Look at
The
instruments.
Little Surgeon's perfect collection.
Okay. Oh, that's
like
weird.
Obsidian or onyx. It must weigh a ton. These are feathers. Pigeon, probably. A skeleton by the name of Gustav, if the plaque on the plinth is anything to go by. That must be for writing the homing pigeon messages. An iron mask. I wonder who it's for.
Maybe it's the man in the iron mask? Oh, Carmelite water full. I wonder if I can take it. Next skill use is free, sure. Key with a cult fire symbol, cool. What's
Am I
this?
seeing things, or is that an actual von Leeuwenhoek microscope? Incredible. Mortimer really is at the cutting edge of science. Even at the Order, it took us ages to get one of those.
So Lord Mortimer is immune to science.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
Use the left key. I can't use the second lock. Dang. Okay.
A table of alchemical elements. So, Lord Mortimer also studies alchemy? It seems like he's interested in everything.
Okay. Is there anything else here?
3 rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long. Some goat skulls, chicken legs. Now we all know what that's for. I'm a little surprised that, look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me.
Yeah. Read the draw.
It is a typical draw on a line that answers a specific question. To the left, temperance. That announces a reward for one who patiently waits before taking any action. And in the middle, the chariot, which symbolizes triumph and business success. To the right, the emperor evokes a future full of power and stability.
Interesting. I think that's everything. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Gonna head back now. Oh, pick that up. Oh, thought that was a jar to pick up. I guess it was highlighting something
Weakness
else.
of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Trimor. Oh shit. How am I gonna get out of here now?
Okay. It's gonna be backwards then. So Opposite of 1. Maybe 5. Oh, so we're 10. So sorry, one sec. Just picturing. Sorry, I'm just drawing something right now. Okay, so the last number, I think it has to show 1. So then that should be 6. And then 9 should be 4. So 9, 1, and then 11 should be 6 and 6 again. Hopefully what I drew on the piece of paper to solve this is correct. Okay.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
Lower lever.
Whoa, whoa. If the grid closes a bit more every time I enter a wrong date, I'd better not mess up again. These cylinders are driving me crazy. I got something wrong with my positioning?
Okay. Okay, so it's 1191. So yeah, shouldn't that be right? Because there are 10 symbols. Hold on. No. Sorry, you may just want to skip ahead a bit until just resolve this. Okay. So 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. No, I think that should be right. 1191. 1191. Hold on.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
Way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, okay, I was right. I just, yeah, okay. So, 1191. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Whoops, yeah. No, I want 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8, 9, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 5, 6. Okay, so that should be it.
This looks like the same mechanism.
Yeah, because it is. Okay, lower the lever. There we go. I was just reading the 6 and the 9 wrong because they were upside down. My mistake.
Well, better not dwell on it then.
Okay, better head out. Master of Escape. Find out the origin of the sword left by my mother. I have not met Peru under strange circumstances. I poisoned Waldo, the bird in Mortimer's office. Yep. I really didn't think he would die because of that chocolate. But then again, I don't know what to feed birds. Okay. Cultism, manipulation. Is there a lockpick one? Subterfuges. Okay, what else? Questioning. Okay. Let's see, what can I... Nope, cannot be equipped. Okay. That was a...
Meeting with Lord Mortimer. There's no doubt about it. Alright, I need to find out where the sword that came with it's from in order...
Find out the origin of the sword.
You're joking, I hope. Don't tell me you've done that. Really? How do you expect me to guess? Oh, for God's sake, just ask them.
Spy!
We must absolutely inform Sir Gregory. How long has he been trying to collect all the spears?
I must have brought him the first one 20-odd years ago.
Do you know if he has managed to get the original?
Well, in any case, he's got all the ones we had at the Vatican. He made me replace them with copies. But I don't understand your reaction. I'm sure it is nothing serious.
Aha. I can see very well you do not understand. You have done nothing less than sign our death warrants, and still you don't understand.
Someone is listening.
What? Monsieur de Richet, why not join us rather than find yourself eavesdropping?
I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Of course you didn't. So, my son, what can we do for you?
Delve in deeper into their discussion.
I didn't mean to spy on you, but you caught my attention.
Let's see... It seemed important.
I don't know what you said to Mr. von Voldena, but the poor fellow looks positively crestfallen.
Not at all.
Don't you believe it, Louis. I was just telling Monsieur about Lord Mortimer's burning passion for holy relics. You must have noticed he's a bit of a collector. Well, For years, he has been searching high and low to bring all the copies of the Holy Spear together. As I was coming here, I thought I'd bring him a few of them. That's all.
Be quiet, for God's sake. Please leave us, monsieur. His Eminence and I wish to finish our discussion alone.
Okay. One sec. I just want to check characters.
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
I know the origin of my sword. Who shall I ask about my sword? Guess I have to go outside. So how do I get outside? Garden. Maybe I can go back to the entrance.
Lord Mortimer certainly has a taste for staging rooms.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service day and night, sir.
Okay. Wait,
Could
ask
you tell
about
me
the
where
sword.
The sword comes from, please?
Certainly, sir. How did such a sword come into sir's hands?
I'm the
My
one
good
asking
man,
the questions.
I'm afraid you're overstepping your role. You're the one who's supposed to be giving the answers, not me.
Naturally. I hope that sir will forgive me. If I were sir, I would look in the garden. This sword looks like it's from the garden statues.
And how can I get into the garden?
There are two ways, sir. The first way to get to the garden is by the hall, between the conference room and the portrait gallery. The second way is directly through the portrait gallery. Sir would just have to go out by the French windows.
Thank you, my good man.
Okay. Portrait gallery. It's right on the other side. See this book?
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading.
Must be a juicy book. Oh, hey, George Washington.
Is everything all right, my young friend?
Wonderful.
Isn't that lovely? Well, see you later.
Okay, not one to talk right now. Am I close to the portrait? Oh, is there a way here?
The sword probably came from this garden, but what could it have been used for?
inventory full of Carmelite water, so I shall use one.
Carmelite water will give me a little reprieve. Ariadne. In Greek mythology, she helped Theseus get through the labyrinth. Looks like there's a crack in the region of the heart.
Serve the crack. Thrust sword into the crack.
And what's going to happen if I've got it wrong?
I don't know.
Ariadne.
Okay. You know, let's pull out the sword for now. Oh. Damn hedge mage. Hedge maze.
Pasiphae, daughter of Perseus and sister of Circe. She married Minos and became the queen of Crete.
Remember the mythology.
I seem to recall that her fate was not something you'd want. She was punished for the sins of her husband. She had to mate with the sacred bull of Poseidon. 9 months later, she gave birth to Asterion, better known as the Minotaur. It's crazy to see to what extent women have always been mistreated. When they're not harpies, gorgons, and other witches, they become victims.
Okay.
Alright, let's continue anyways.
Grab this. So... Can't I just jump over the hedges?
Daedalus. He's the architect of the labyrinth, and if I'm not mistaken, he's also the father of Icarus.
Okay. Maybe there should be a statue where the hero got stabbed or something, or was holding a sword.
Theseus, son of Aegeus. He's the one who slayed the Minotaur. I wonder if Mother managed to solve this enigma.
Yep, the Minotaur.
Asterion. It is rare to see him like this. In general, he's represented with the head of a bull, with the features of the Minotaur.
The famous son of Minos and Pasiphae.
Oh, look, it's got many swords stabbed into it. So I'm going to assume...
Right. We'll soon see.
No?
Asterion. Asterion was the son of Pasiphae and Minos, or rather the result of a curse put on Minos. Minos was punished for betraying Poseidon. Of course, as strangely it often happens, it wasn't he who was punished, it was his wife. She had to mate with a bull, no less. From that union, Asterion was born, who everyone knows as the famous Minotaur. Rejected by Minos, he was shut up in the labyrinth so he could never leave. And, as if that wasn't bad enough, he died by the hand of a hero desperate to restore his reputation.
Okay. Think about the mist.
Asterion is the victim of the story because he's described as a child cast out from birth. Born from an extramarital union because of the errors of his father, he was treated as an outcast all his life. And he died as innocently as he was born. A tragic story, as the Greeks knew how to do so well.
Okay. Okay, maybe move the sword. That doesn't seem to be it. Maybe that would have been too obvious. I don't know. Okay, what do you got here?
Icarus. The son of Daedalus and Nocrate. Impossible to mistake him with those wings. After flying too close to the sun, he became unstuck and he fell to his death. Pity.
Remember the myth? There's...
Hey, there's no crack here.
No crack here. Okay.
If I remember rightly, Icarus was the son of Daedalus. He found himself confined to the labyrinth with his father after his father betrayed Minos. And his father's plan to escape from the labyrinth wasn't any more successful. Man, that kid was jinxed.
Mm-hmm. Huh, so...
Well, let's keep going.
So he has no crack. Okay. I've got all of them. I think I got all of them.
I wonder what this kiosk is doing in the middle of the garden. Too cramped to be able to do much. Well, there must be something going on there.
Read the message
It's
on the
up
plaque.
to the just to deliver judgment. Truth unlocks all possibilities. It looks like this slab moves. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a passageway underneath it.
So...
It's up to the just to deliver judgment. Truth unlocks all possibilities. What is that? It's like a sort of opening mechanism.
Study the mechanism.
Knowing Mortimer, I bet it's booby-trapped. There's a little hole at the fingers. I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, I'll get pricked.
Mm-hmm.
Damn you, Mortimer. Reminds me of traps I studied in Egyptian tombs.
Okay, so I pretty much have to get this right. And again, just delivering judgment. Oh, what's this? Ursa. Cool.
Pasiphae, daughter of Perseus and sister of Circe. She married Minos and became the queen of Crete. Alright, well, let's continue anyways. Daedalus.
Okay. Oh, I don't think I did that statue yet. Or did I? Maybe.
Minos, son of Zeus and Europa. If I remember correctly, he was the king of Crete. Married to Pasiphae, he had many children, including the famous Ariadne, whom history remembers for her thread. Hey, there's a crack in that statue.
You know what? I'm gonna...
The crack is in the region of the heart.
You know... I think it's because of what he did to his son. Actually, you know what? Let me just use that just to make sure.
Honey, the remedy of the gods. Minos.
Okay.
He and his queen, Pasiphae, were the monarchs of Crete.
Okay, and then I guess did something.
Asterion, son of Minos and Pasiphae. Asterion, who had such a sad fate and who the legend portrays as the horrible Minotaur. Asterion was a son of Pasiphae and Minos, or rather the result of a curse put on Minos. Minos was punished for betraying Poseidon. Of course, as strangely it often happens,
so
it
Minos was punished.
It was his wife. She had to mate with a bull, no less. From that union, Asterion was born, who everyone knows as the famous Minotaur. Rejected by Minos, he was shut up in the labyrinth so he could never leave. And, as if that wasn't bad enough, he died by the hand of a hero desperate to restore his reputation.
So it sounds like Minos is a bit of a jerk. So I think
go.
It was good that I put the sword in him. Alright. I think that is the justice delivered, or something? Or what was it again?
It's up to the just to deliver judgment. Truth unlocks all possibilities.
Okay, let's do this. Press. I was right. Minos was a jerk and deserved to be judged. Uh-oh, blood. Uh-oh, not good.
Again?
You can't be serious, Manuel. You know that's not going to happen.
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything. Even to...
Agreed? I wasn't aware you had a choice.
What's going on here?
What now? What else must I do to win back my freedom?
Obey me. Now get out!
What was that? That's the third time in 3 days.
Don't think I was pricked by that machine, so... Ah yes, you noticed the blood too.
Let's see if you're in there, Mother.
Excellent. You collected 4 amber fragments. Your maximum effort points is increased by 1. Excellent.
Amber.
Okay.
Bandages? Someone's been patching themselves up. Looks like my mother took advantage of being in hiding to change her bandages, huh? This is silk. She must have used her own...
Notice something?
There are patches where the blood isn't totally clotted. That's a good sign, right? She changed them recently, which proves she's still looking after herself and still believes in her chances. Well, I'd love to tell her to keep hanging in there.
Okay. Into the foreboding labyrinth. Oh! Is that the servant? What's he doing down here?
Damn it, Mother. Now what's happened?
Uh-oh, somebody behind me.
Don't move!
Wait, I'm not armed.
Who are you?
Good God, Mother, what have you—
Tell me who you are!
Does she not remember me? Oh, okay. Eavesdropped, convinced, was important me. Succeeded in opening the entrance crypt, found another crypt. Failed at nothing, cool. Alternate paths. Could have inspired Peru to trust me. Yes, leveled up. Okay, what shall I... Yeah, I'm gonna do some of the lock picking. Irradiation, manipulation. Also gonna go with etiquette here. Okay. Huh. Okay. So I think that is it for episode 2. Yep, the maze. So yeah, so another good episode of the game. Everything is getting very intriguing now. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video of the Council. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to check out my other social media accounts in the description below. Until next time, this is Jason from Force Hammer Gaming, signing off.